Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. And I am once again simulcasting on Rumble and you, Tizzle. I got a little post up there for you to peruse. We're going to stand up. Tell Governor Pritzker. Can't even spell governor. But anyway, is Don Lemon going to get picked up at dawn? Like Peter Navarro, right? He got picked up going to the airport, and what was his name? Got picked up at his house right at the crack of dawn, and CNN got a heads up. Are we going to get a heads up of Don Lemon getting arrested? So anyway, we'll see. I was expecting him to get arrested this morning. He should get arrested, and I believe he will. But timing is everything. Optics are important. We're going to go over all that stuff. We're going to go over a lot of things. But what do? What do? I play videos while people come into the chats, get themselves a cup of coffee, or maybe even a chamomile tea, or a cold bruja, or maybe a liqueur of some sort. Anyway, I play videos, and that's what I'm going to do. And then we'll be like butter and get on a roll.
We're giving 90-day notices to places like California, Scott. Right away, we're going to send out that notice. Who would bill the federal government as people poured into the state to send those people back because no country can afford to do it? No country can afford to take in millions of people, pay for their education, their health care, their hospitals. You just can't do it. And we all have a heart. You can't do it. But many of those people are murderers. They're people released from jails, prisons, mental institutions, insane asylums. They're people that are drug dealers. They're addicts. Additionally, starting February 1st, we're not making any payments to sanctuary cities or states having sanctuary cities because they do everything possible to protect criminals at the expense of American citizens, and it breeds fraud and crime and all of the other problems that come. So we're not making any payment to anybody that supports sanctuary cities.
This is a developing story, but we are now learning that ICE and Border Patrol agents are being kicked out of this hotel, the DoubleTree by Hilton in St. Paul downtown. The hotel says it's due to safety concerns. We did confirm with the hotel that all guests did receive a memo that all government employees have to be checked out by noon. The other guests are allowed to stay. The hotel says it's due to safety concerns. We just walked in, tried to book a room. We couldn't. They did confirm that it is closing. We do see a truck now leaving. Now, this is still a developing situation here in downtown Minneapolis. We're also learning that President Trump also has the Army's 11th Airborne Division on standby to be deployed here to Minnesota. So once again, this is still a developing situation on what's going on here on the ground. But just even driving around the city, you see lots of anti-ICE signs, anti-Border Patrol signs, and now ICE agents here will have to find a new room after federal employees are now being kicked out. We're still trying to learn some more information. We'll see another vehicle there also exiting the hotel as we were approaching noon. The other guests are allowed to finish the reservation. Still a developing situation here from St. Paul downtown.
Despite the turmoil, the federal government says it is not deterred. It is now sending hundreds more federal agents to Minnesota to protect those ICE agents, according to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. And they're blaming both the news media and, quote, agitators for the chaos, claiming journalists are willfully misleading the public about Renee Nicole Good. Officials saying she was dangerous, not just some innocent mother of three. Just like they say Kilmar Abrego Garcia isn't just a Maryland father.
The one place where we thought we would never experience this is the U.S. goddamn states.
Storm zone. Yes, sir. I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
They have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
And he's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he sees as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. I hope you all are doing well. We're going to talk, of course, about storming the church and all the other terrible things that have been happening. Assaults, kidnappings, harassment, haranguing people, slandering people, libeling people, beating people in the streets, chasing them. I say arrest them all. Of course, I could just sit here and say that. But is that what's best for the cause? Are they in a position to do it? They may very well be. From the governor right down to the street bum. That's what I put in my title. And I'll show you a street bum. I'll show you low down lemon. And we're going to talk about timing. We're going to talk about what's the best thing to do. And I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight. We know it's coming. We know it's coming. Nothing can stop it, as a matter of fact. How you doing, Wayne? Nice to see you. Sissy, Colette. Whoa. Come on, chats. Stay there for a little bit for me. I have to keep moving it. Let's see. I can't even get 2 names out, 3 names out, and it jumps on me. All right. Wow. Well, it's not cooperating with me, but I'm trying to get it done. Let's see here. Todd's here. Robin's here. Gary's here. Elva. Rain, nice to see you. Debbie. All right. Let's see. We are the resistance. Darla's here. Let's see. Stanton's here. Nice to see you. Rebecca. Wow. Trying to keep my glasses on here. Had a lens fall out. Did you ever have that happen? Mr. Kennedy, nice to see you. Cole's here. Nice to see you. Damon. Miss Mendersue. Nice to see you. All right, Tammy's here. All right, everybody's rolling in. Robin's here. Let's see. Pappy Two Bears. Nice to see you. Flannel Cheese. Nice to see you, Sparky. All right, Cherry's here. Let's see. Who? Joshua. Nice to see you, Joshua. Beautiful. Nice to see you. You still on fire in Pam Bondi, huh? Oh, well, let me tell you something. You know, I didn't know Pam Bondi picked up the ball on who was that guy that got waylaid by somebody who, what was his name? Al Sharpton called him a white Mexican. And some character jumped him and beat on him, and he ended up putting a slug in him. And what was that guy's name? And they said he was only getting Skittles. And anyway, she picked up the case to prosecute that fellow when it was pretty much open and shut. Case of self-defense. Zimmerman, thank you, Felix. All right, nice to see you. Yeah, she picked, I didn't know that about Pam Bondi. That makes my antennas go way up. So, but you never know. You never know what the real motivation is for taking the case. Because you can take a case, just like the prosecutor that was handling Quilma Abrego Garcia, his case, remember that? What did he do? He put the poison pill in as a prosecutor. He put a poison pill in that Garcia was unlawfully sent to El Salvador when that was not the case. It was just a twist up in some paperwork that made it appear that way. And he should have known better. That's why he was fired. So sometimes they put a prosecutor in to put a poison pill in the case to make sure the person either doesn't get prosecuted or makes the prosecution more difficult. I'm just saying. Okay, you got to fight fire with fire. Hi, Google account. Nice to see you. Yeah, remember to give me thumbs ups. I appreciate it. Just like Angel did. I know she did. So, yeah, if you haven't given me a thumbs up, go ahead and do it. Even after the live stream, make sure you give me a thumbs up if you forget. Helps the video to get around. You know, we're dealing with what we're dealing with. But anyway. My thumbnail, you're not a journalist, low down lemon. Let me tell you, I'm going to play that video. You see a freeze frame of that screen. And these were professionals. It's going to be proven, I believe, that Lemon was not just working with them on this operation, but on other operations. These are trained professionals. Where is that one picture I had? I had a picture, a freeze frame, of the woman who claimed she was an attorney and an activist, you know, just like Barack Obama came up, just being a street irritant. And here's another freeze frame I was going to use for the thumbnail. You see her coming by there, right? You see that woman with a fist in the air? What do you notice about that? She's in motion. She's walking and running her jaws. And she's got a lineup of people behind her. She's leading the agitators out of the church after they stormed the church, menaced and terrified little children's and elderly people. But anyway, what do you notice about that picture? It's very quick in the video. But she, in my opinion, has been trained on how to push it to the limit, how to commit unwanted touching to make it seem like you're doing something else or you're distracted, you don't realize what you did. But she walks right by there and she's got her elbow stuck out and she wants to catch this guy in the back and act like, well, I didn't mean to. They were looking for trouble. Things are going down with all the criminality in Minnesota. People are going to get arrested. And they're trying to do something to distract. I was looking up pictures of Don Lemon to maybe use in the thumbnail. I found pictures of him getting married to his husband, walking down the celebrity line with his husband. A picture of him and Jussie Smollett. A picture of him and Jim Acosta. A picture of him and Wolf Blitzer. A picture of him and Anderson Cooper. The gay army of the media. So, of course, they stay in touch with each other. Of course, they arrange a narrative. Remember that word, folks, narrative. That is going to be coming out in trials. A criminal narrative participating in illegal psychological warfare campaigns and mass slander and libel. So anyway, but she's walking past him and they do a mutual move that just causes a slight brushing. But you can tell she's being an irritant, and she is, listen, unwanted touching is assault. Okay? And she claims she's an attorney. That's why I'm saying people need to lose not just their judgeships, like the judge that claimed, I put a stop to ICE agents from doing this and doing that, inferring that they were doing it. She put a stop to things that never occurred. She shouldn't even heard that case. They didn't have any evidence. All these people that are saying little children are getting brutalized. Pregnant women are getting drugged down the street. Citizens are being taken to concentration camps. Well, where is any charges against anybody? Where is any cases? Where are any lawsuits that are validated about one incident of mistreatment? Nowhere. But there's a unified narrative that is causing psychological damage to this country. And as I've said it many times, I'm going to keep on saying it, inciting public hostility. Inciting public hostility. So, there were people convicted of that in Nuremberg. When you incite public hostility, it leads to human suffering. It leads to injury and loss of life. So, that's a precedent that was set. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. And hi, Sue. Joshua, nice to see you. I've heard in different videos where people were thanking media outlets. We're going to see. I think they're going to get it to a point when they do arrest, it's going to be a large. That's why I put Dragnet. Remember the show Dragnet? Remember what the Dragnet was? I told you all about law enforcement from days gone by, how they used whistles, right? And you would get in trouble for blowing a whistle for nothing. It was akin to a false alarm. A whistle was universally recognized as a distress or a need for assistance. Like I said, when you're stranded out in a broken down boat in the middle of nowhere, at least you got a whistle. If you're treading water in the ocean, you got a whistle. If you're a cop by himself getting attacked, you blow the whistle. So you're going to see some of these older things coming back that mean something. And of course, they when you take like Don Lemon sitting here saying, well, we have the right to protest, when he's standing on private property, twisting the Constitution, things like that. Hey, just like I heard that judge say, maybe you didn't know better, but you should have known better. Okay? Guilty. Okay? You should have. If you show you have the intelligence to get a college degree, You have the ability to hold down a job. You can't claim that you don't grasp simple concepts. Okay? You should know better. Right, Randy? Ha ha ha. Nice to see you. So anyway, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be something I saw earlier. Yeah, earlier in the chats that there are going to be thousands of people who aren't going to make it. But I don't know. That's why I scan once in a while through Midas Trash Network to see what people are saying, because there are people with dim light bulbs that are brightening up. I was kind of a little unhappy with Fox News putting this up the way they did. Trump targets Ilhan Omar. I don't like that kind of language. Calling for jail or removal from U.S. to Somalia. I think I have his truth in here somewhere. Yeah, and he did say that. Seeking swift justice. Oh, this is Erica Kirk. I'll get to her in a minute. That's an interesting story. But anyway, what they don't mention is he's doing this in response. He's not targeting her. He's responding. Representative Omar, this is from Christina Guaya. Trump thought he could intimidate Minnesotans and that we would react with riots. Instead, we showed up with compassion, resilience, and strength like we do in Sharia law. We showed the country what real resistance looked like. And people are like, well, what do you got to say about that, Mr. Trump, President Trump? And he said she ought to get her rear end sent back to Somalia or be thrown in prison. So, he didn't target her. He reacted. And Trump made just a couple of hours ago, he put this truth up. No context. I'm fine with it. I think it's great. America is back. Okay, sounds good to me. Did he just approve something? I hope he did. We shall see. In Minnesota, there's too much media attention. This was today on ICE, who have removed some of the worst murderers and criminals in the world. People who let into our country by crooked Joe Biden, and not in terms of money stolen from the state by corrupt Minnesota politicians. So the media is getting a message. You better start covering that. You better get up to speed. Here's Midas Trash. They were live while I was preparing to go live. And of course, I got on there and was not blocked, and it didn't require a subscription. They must have screwed up when they set their live stream up. Ha, ha, ha. So I put a comment in capital letters. Deport, deport, deport. With a little bomb symbol. Boom. Ha, ha, ha. And man, who is this guy in here? Blah, 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 blah. And then I put in, Clinton needs to testify about Epstein. Needless to say, about 45 seconds later, I was blocked. But I got a couple of jabs in. But anyway, here they put up, live, stop Trump's ICE terror protests as Trump DOJ. So here they are. This is supposed to be backed by attorneys. And they have guests that are attorneys. As a matter of fact, I'll show you one of their faces in one of the clips I got. And they're putting this kind of incendiary title out. People that are serving this nation and upholding the law, they're depicting law enforcement officers as spreading terror. So, like I said, there's got to be some prices to pay because this is the kind of crap you get. This is the kind of crap you get with these ignorant nitwits that think we're on stolen land. I tell you what, I have a couple of friends that are attorneys, younger people. A lot of my friends that were attorneys have gone on to their great reward. But I do have some friends that are younger that are attorneys, and I'm going to tell them, you need to get a hold of Pam Bondi's office or get with Harmeet Dillon because they are quitting at the most inopportune times. Now, Pam Bondi fired those, what was it, 6 of them? But they're doing organized walkouts. And it's leading to a case overload. And if I were an attorney, I'd be getting in touch with the Department of Justice to serve your country, damn it. If you claim you're a conservative, if you say you know what's going on, you say you're MAGA. Well, I can't. I got too many cases where I can make hundreds of thousands of dollars because somebody dropped a tomato on their foot at the supermarket, and I'm suing. No, wait a minute. You need to get down there and help the Justice Department. And I tell you what, if I got in there and I was working with a team of attorneys, I'd ask them, who thinks we're on stolen land? Any hands go up, I'd tell them, get the hell out and don't come back. Stolen land crap. All part of the narrative, okay? It's a piece of the puzzle to the overall narrative. And the narrative is that our civilization is corrupt and undeserved. And their way of life is superior, which is communism. I don't give a damn if they call it socialism. I don't give a damn what they call it. Okay? So that is the overall narrative, is that this country is illegitimate, racist, and thieving culture, when it is actually the most high trust, prosperous civilization that the world has ever seen in human history. But anyway, here's a nitwit.
So, it has come to my attention that ICE is staying at the Crockett Hotel in downtown San Antonio, which is right behind the Alamo, and I used to work there. This was about 2 years ago. I was a barista. They have a little coffee shop there. That's it. No, but anyways, yeah, just be careful. They have cameras in the parking lot, and just wear a hoodie. But yeah, if you want to fucking go over there and raise hell, because I know that place like the back of my fucking hand, and I just found out that the store that I work at is being liquidated. I work at Francesca's, by the way. They're closing down. It sucks, but whatever. And I don't start school until Tuesday. So guess what I'm going to do this weekend?
Start school. What, are you going to be a teacher? I'd find out what the hell's going on with you and make sure you got your ass sent down the road too. We can't have teachers with that mentality. We can't. If she's a student, what is it going to be? Us paying your dopey overpriced tuition, loan forgiveness, or whatever the hell they call it. Here's another idiot. This is in a Texas school. Look at the tattoos going up the arms. How to evade ICE, and talking down about ICE in general, just to kids. I wonder what his curriculum's supposed to be. What are you supposed to be teaching, you freak? But anyway, here's our tax dollars at work.
We're talking about ICE. What does ICE stand for?
Immigration, control.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement, okay?
Oh.
Okay. Guys who kind of look like cops. Is ICE above the law?
No.
No one is above above the law, and if they break it, they should be held accountable, just like any of y'all, right? Can ICE lie to you?
Yes.
Oh. Yes. Yes, they can, and they absolutely will. They'll also try and bait you into saying or doing something that'll get you in trouble. Don't take the bait. Can ICE profile you?
No. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Most definitely.
Yes, they can. ICE can judge and target you based off the color of your skin, the language that you speak, or the job that you work. However, do y'all remember this card from the beginning of the year?
Yeah.
Yeah? These are your rights. Do not open the door. Stranger danger 101. Don't answer any questions. You have the right to be silent, so be silent. Do not sign anything without talking to a lawyer. You are a minor. It is not your job to go toe-to-toe with ICE. The best thing you can do is probably just stay away from ICE. Can I hear y'all say, I want my lawyer?
I want my lawyer.
Yes.
Well, you know, you got the right to say to keep silent, but if there is a Border Patrol agent asking you for identity and you don't speak to them, they have every right to detain you to obtain your identity. That's what this is all about. So, okay, they're giving bad advice out. They're giving bad advice out to people, but at least he said, don't go toe-to-toe with them. Miss Minister, I had friends that have had tattoos. They're not, you know, it all depends. But when they have a whole sleeve, I mean, those things cost, I don't know how much a whole sleeve costs. I mean, a lot of money. But when you're that young and you've done all that to yourself, I mean, what are you thinking? You know, they're doing it to a point where it's just grotesque looking. It makes your body look dirty, like you need a bath. If they do it that much, what would compel a person's way of thinking at that young an age to do that? But anyway, yeah, some of them it's called body art. Yeah. But you know, you can tell when you're looking at them where they're coming from for the most part. But anyway, here's Harmeet Dillon. People were saying the response was tepid, so she came out with something else. Whoever paid for, coordinated, or participated in this attack made a big, big mistake. No worshiper in this country should ever feel intimidated in a house of God. And the Justice Department will bring the full force of law as directed by Pam Bondi. Well, here she is. You can hear her in her own words. And I tell you, we're going to be hearing about the media being held culpable. At some point, it's going to be discovered that they're participating in a conspiracy. I mean, what they're doing is, if they could twist charges for Donald Trump to turn one set of numbers on a line of paper, turn that into 34 felonies, I could say these people blowing whistles, these people honking horns, like that kid I just had on the video, like that woman I played earlier, they are aiding and abetting fugitives, okay, to elude federal officers, to escape, okay? They're giving aid and comfort, and they are assisting, giving material assistance to people who are in this country unlawfully. All those are felonies. Not protesting. It's giving people a heads up, helping them escape and elude federal officers.
The people who did this made a big, big mistake, whoever they are. We are investigating exactly who they are, who coordinated with them, who paid for it, and who was there. And this will be met with the full force of the United States Department of Justice, as the Attorney General has directed. And we discussed yesterday with the pastor, who was totally shaken. He was with his family. We want to make sure everyone felt safe. And there will be further legal action in coming days.
Okay. I thought we would see video of Don Lemon being duck walked out of his apartment. But hey, they got to go to arrest him. They got to figure, he's probably, if he's still, he came from New York to Minnesota for this event. He was given a heads up. They got video of him bringing a bunch of coffees from Starbucks for everybody, participating in the conversations. They're going to get electronic communications. All right, I'm sure he's working on that, wiping that out, but good luck to him. But if they got to arrest him, I mean, he's probably signed up with some escort service. He probably got, I don't know, some kind of Little People of Minnesota, no one over 4'8", all male escorts. Hard to know what you would run into if you kicked down the door at 5 o'clock in the morning, what would be in that house. Okay. But I mean, that's what's going on. Put some rubber gloves on. Okay. Take a couple of cans of Lysol. If he's got to be arrested, he's got to be arrested. If you run into a freak show, some weird nonsense going on, that's just the way it's going to be. He's not going to go out of town and not party. I can tell you that. But anyway, so since I put this up earlier, I want to go ahead and cover it real quick. Get your all's thoughts on this. And I agree 1,000%. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, this furry character should already be taken care of. You all remember me saying that. Erica Kirk invokes a rare Utah law to speed up the trial of husband's Charlie's accused assassin. Seeking swift justice, Erica Kirk is pressing for a speedy trial, accusing the defense team for her husband's accused killer, Tyler Robinson, of employing delay tactics. In a court filing made public over the weekend, her attorney, Jeffrey Neiman, formally notified the court that Kirk is invoking her rights as a victim under Utah law, which guarantees a prompt resolution of criminal cases. The Utah Code affords victims of a crime the right to a speedy disposition of the charges, free from unwarranted delay caused by or at the behest of the defendant. So they made a motion where they want to take out the whole prosecution team because one of the prosecutors has one of their children. I don't know how old. It could be a 30-year-old child. It could be a 15-year-old child. I don't know. They actually saw the video of Charlie Kirk getting shot, the unedited video. And so they're saying that the whole prosecution team's got to go, all that kind of stuff. But my thoughts on the matter where Tyler Robinson should be right now. What is that country song that was big about 30 years ago? Just a swingin'. Sitting on my front porch. No, that's what should be have already happened to this character. Long drop, short rope, and just a swinging. But anyway, so that's an update on that. We'll see how it goes. So anyway, here is where is this? I heard, first of all, the U.S. Post Office, the union, is involved in resisting ICE. That's the terminology they use. But my terminology is that they're insurrecting. And they're working, that Trump's pointed it out. That's part of the problem with these federal unions. Is that it's like pulling teeth, getting them the hell out of there. This, I saw this on a couple people's live streams. This guy talked for up there squawking and screaming into the microphone about how bad ICE was. But anyway, They're leading a strike, okay? Remember, is it January 23rd. Remember that date, folks. They're planning a massive work stoppage. Everybody, they want all businesses closed. And the intimation is, if you say, no, I'm going to stay open, you'll probably get some rocks through your window. Oh, okay. So the 23rd is a big day. That might be the day, okay, that those 1,500 regular troops get sent in. As to how they expect people to stay home from work, go out in the streets, have the entire state go up with their narrative. But this guy is calling for postal workers to go on strike and to join these protests, okay? And they're using union roles, okay, to fortify their narrative and their cause, just like the teachers are with students. This stuff has got to be punished. But during this babbling, when he's standing up there with that bullhorn, I heard him thank several news outlets for helping him get the word out. We all already saw MS Now, formerly MSDNC, with Rachel Madcow, giving out, and I think it was CNN too, giving out app information on ICE tracking and doxing agents. Oh, that's not what we were trying to do. They could come up with these terms, constitutional observers. No, they're criminals. They're aiding and abetting. They're helping fugitives elude federal agents, escape. Okay? So there's a lot of things that they're guilty of. And so it's coming to a head. But just keep in mind, if we hear, I think there's something else alluding to the press being involved in coordinating and conspiring, a conspiracy to fan this insurrection. Here's another freak. Oh, I didn't pick it because she's got tattoos, and I'm not so say anymore. I got friends who had tattoos. They're perfectly fine people. I had friends that had grotesque tattoos. No, I won't say friends. People I had to bump into once in a while because I did not want to have them for friends, okay? So grotesque art, and I'll put it that way. But anyway, let's listen to her message.
It's January 17th, and I'm coming out of Minneapolis right now with two small wins today. One, Jacob Lang, the leader of this little pro-ICE rally in downtown Minneapolis, didn't go so well for him today. Small numbers, they kept getting cornered in downtown, and then a very friendly Minnesotan gave him a nice super soaking, drenching him head to toe in water, including his little cotton gloves and cotton hat. For reference, it's 13 degrees here in Minneapolis today. He got so cold, he began asking Minnesotans for help, which of course they did not give him. Last I heard, the Minneapolis Police Department was pursuing him in his red Ford Dart somewhere in South Minneapolis. This leads me to my next small win. Today in South Minneapolis at the Arco gas station on Lake Street, a convoy of 4 vehicles filled with ICE agents pulled up on a man pumping gas and arrested him, threw him in the back of one of their vehicles to abduct him when we got the call for this ICE sighting. Within minutes, we had 20 to 30 observers on foot and in vehicle, myself included. I posted a video on my page where we showed up and we overwhelmed these ICE agents so much that they let this detainee go. Now, my video does not include this detainee's face or his vehicle as a means to protect him further, but it's working, you guys. It's working, and I know that dozens of arrests are happening in the metro area every day, but dozens more would be happening if it wasn't for the organized way that my community is showing up to stop these ICE agents, and we're scaring them. They are scaring us, but we are scaring them right back. We have to keep going. It is working.
See why I say we need a Greenland CCOT? 65,000 beds. Okay? You heard the thing she was discussing. If she is implicated in assisting in that stuff, she could do 10 years or more. She's talking about the assault on Jake Lang, where he was stabbed in the head, kidnapped, drugged down the street by a mob, and that they forcibly freed a detainee from federal agents' custody. And they know who they are. This isn't some big secret channel putting up stuff nobody knows about. You better believe that military intelligence, at the very least, is involved in this, and that these videos are cataloged and known, and this person's identity and location is already on the books. What good are you to society, woman? We're not going to miss you one damn bit while you're up there in Greenland doing your time. Won't it be funny if that's the way it comes out, that there's a Greenland seacot? Because Trump is putting it out there. It's going to get done. The Greenland deal is going to get done. He's saying it like, I'm tired of hearing it. Tired of hearing the complaints. It's over. It's going to get done. But here, I think this is where you might hear a little reference. A little reference to media outlets. Representative Luna.
Shows on November 3rd, 2020, that you, Mr. Roth, a Twitter employee, were exchanging communications on Jira, a private cloud server, with CISA, NASS, NASED, and Alex Stamos, who now works at Stanford and is a former security officer at Facebook, to remove a posting. Do you now remember communicating on a private cloud server to remove a posting? Yes or no?
I wouldn't agree with the characterization.
I don't care if you agree. This is your stuff. Yes or no, did you communicate with a private entity, the government agency, on a private cloud server? Yes or no?
The question was if I
Yes or no? Yeah, I'm on time. Yes or no?
Ma'am, I don't believe I can give you a yes or no.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now that you did, and we have proof of it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is joint action between the federal government and a private company to censor and violate the First Amendment. This is also known, and I'm so glad that there's many attorneys on this panel, joint state actors. It's highly illegal. You are all engaged in this action, and I want you to know that you will be all held accountable.
You, ladies and gentlemen, interfered with the United States of America 2020 presidential election, knowingly and willingly. That's the bad news. It's going to get worse, because this is the investigation part. Later comes the arrest part.
Well, we're waiting, and we want to see it. Yeah. Don't forget that we had government entities influencing not only our posts, but you better believe, if they were in touch with Facebook executives, Twitter executives, they were in touch with CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, all the others. The infiltrators in the government, in the deep state, were organizing and coordinating a narrative, illegal psychological warfare campaign against the American people. Here's Donald Trump. Wow, they have a lot of explaining to do. Let me tell you, there were heads exploding on the Midas Trash Network community page. Why? Trump says, corruption at the highest level, President DJT. Michael Cohen says New York prosecutors pressured and coerced him into anti-Trump testimony. Can you say tampering with witnesses in a federal case, or even any case? Especially if it's tied to overthrowing the U.S. government. Michael Cohen alleges New York attorney, I'm sure he said Letitia James, Alvin Bragg, the highest levels. And the people on Midas Touch Network, Trump must have got to him. This can't be true. Oh, yeah, it can be true. Now you idiots are getting a dose of your own medicine. You're starting to see how you're being manipulated. And some of them are waking up. Here's Ellison. He's the attorney general there in Minnesota, right? They have tapes of him. They have tapes of him with the top people that were running these fraud rings. Okay? So, of course, why wouldn't you use some has-been, burnout, former personality like Don Lemon and coordinate an attack on a church and hope for an explosion? Hope for something to overshadow what's coming your way. But here he's going to malign ICE agents, talk about everything but the fraud that he allowed to happen right under his nose.
Love it, but here's what I want to say to all the rest of your audience, because I know you got a ton of people who are, way outside of Minnesota. This could be coming your way. He could target, if he could target us, he can target anyone and create an element of fear. What he's trying to do is create an atmosphere of fear where no one is willing to speak against him because they think, oh, I'll just send my Praetorian guards to hurt you and to destroy your business economy, to stop your kids from going to school, to drive up your local costs. And unless you want that, you're going to get in line. That's what it's all about. This is the essence of dictatorship. It's the essence of it. And we got to get over the idea that this couldn't happen here. Not only could it happen here, it's happening here.
There's that attorney I was telling you about that shows up on Midas Trash Network. His name is Popak. Popak. Remember those names? People like Popak, Cohen, and the one I had, Kirshner. All these, in my opinion, creepy attorneys that are working against the interests of justice. But anyway, so when he gets arrested, notice I use the word when, he's going to have the narrative. It's because he's trying to protect people from Trump's Praetorian Guard. That's why he's being arrested. Not that he was rubbing elbows with a bunch of fraudsters for billions and billions of dollars for years and years and years. Here's somebody else you might not want to take home to your mother. Oh, only one tattoo. Okay. Oh my God. The nose ring's worth 1,000 tattoos as far as I'm concerned.
You can just kill ICE agents. You know that? You can just kill them. You don't have to hold your phone in their face and ask people when their birthday is and ask people what their name is and then try to find wherever they end up in Los Angeles. You can kill them. This isn't about social media clout anymore. This isn't about video. This isn't about the phone. This is about get a gun and start killing ICE agents. They are deputized corrections officers. Kill them.
They are federal agents and they're acting with the full force of law. And you're going to be wearing a coat and a shirt and mucklucks when you're in the Greenland Seacot for probably 20 years with that crap. So, anyway, let's see what this one is. Nick Sorter. Is that who? No, this is Benny Johnson. Remember this, folks? Never forget this. A Catholic priest was dragged away in handcuffs for simply praying at an abortion clinic in 2021. Leftist mobs are invading churches and shutting down worship. Give them this exact treatment. Make an example of every single one. Faith must be protected. He's wearing his garments there, his priestly garments on the street. He didn't go in a building. He didn't step in anybody's way. He didn't take his elbow and try to clunk somebody in the back when he walked by. He didn't do any of that. And then there was another reverend who they went to his house and drug him out in front of his crying children. There are women who went to jail for years because they silently prayed. ABC News, got to be inflammatory, right? Inflammatory. Federal agents have made over 3,000 arrests in Minnesota. Good. Federal agents made over 3,000 arrests since Trump administration Operation Metro Surge began in December. Well, it needs to be about triple that. And ongoing. Among these arrests were nearly 150 U.S. citizens for assault or obstructing law enforcement, according to DHS. That's not enough. That's not enough. I just showed you 2 videos where people need to go to jail right now. Okay? So I think it's going to be a dragnet. I think they're going to coordinate. They're going to follow the intricate web. Okay? They're going to follow the intricate web. Here's this idiot I showed. What is his name? I think he may be the one that said, I am Antifa, write it down. I got a video of him. So you get an idea. I'll show that in a second. Where is that post that has his name? So we can put that in our memory banks for when he's on the CCOT roster in Greenland. That's a perfect place. I mean, even if they don't do it, wouldn't you say that that would be a perfect place for a huge facility? Anyway, if I come across it, I'll put it up. I got his name. And you know what? I know who's got his name. I know who's got his number. Especially if he is a self-proclaimed Antifa member. If I come across it, I'll put it up. But anyway, he's daring Pam Bondi to do something about it and cursing her while he's at it.
Yesterday, I went into a church with Nakima Armstrong and I protested these white supremacists. A pastor of the church is a fucking ICE leader in the city. How can you be a fucking pastor and be a fucking ICE agent? Fuck them. They want to come after me? Fuck them. How can they live so comfortably while the fucking people from Somalia that are in this country legally, that have fucking citizenship, can't even go to their mosque and pray? How do they deserve any fucking different? Fuck those fucking Nazis. Come and get me, Pam Bondi, you fucking traitorous bitch. All power to the people.
Yeah. Let me show you a video. You might get your wish, buddy. You might get your wish because you harassed and pursued children out to a van. We saw you do it. We saw you do it. And there's a video of him harassing ICE agents right here. So you get an idea. This guy is well over 6 feet. He's scrawny. I mean, I would. Well, anyway, but he's a large bearded yeti. Okay, stomping around, screaming and yelling at people, elderly people and children, and trespassing in a church. So here he is dealing with some very good-sized members of the National Guard, okay? And you get an idea of what he's like and how he treats people.
You realize that you're violating the Constitution. You are fucking... Hello, babe. What's up? You got me. What's that? You got me. There's the officer. You're a So you guys are aware that you're violating the Constitution? Where are you from, Staff Sergeant? Aren't you in the military? I was 11 Bravo. I got out in 2011. I did fuck up my rank there. You got me there, but I was not a good soldier. I have a problem with authority, but apparently you don't. You don't believe in the Constitution, but at least I believe in that. So where are you from, soldier? You ever fucking deployed? Oh, you've never deployed. So you're a staff sergeant, never deployed, who is now violating the Constitution.
Excuse us.
What's your deal? You don't believe in the Constitution? Is that what it is? Why don't you get paid for this? I don't get paid at all. I'm a volunteer. I do this for love of the Republic, unlike you. You come from some fucking state far away to come fucking betray your oath to the Constitution. It's funny to you, motherfucker? You piece of fucking shit. Never did a damn thing for this country, but you wear that uniform with pride. What's up, bitch? What's up? Hi, how's it going? What you got to say, motherfucker? What you got to say, you punk ass bitch? You're harassing our soldiers. Fuck off. I'm a combat infantry veteran. These fuckers ain't done shit. Yeah, and I've served for 30 fucking years. So what? Yo, so you don't believe in the Constitution either, asshole? That's exactly why they're out here. You're so fucking. Don't know nothing about.
That's enough of that. Because I tell you what, back in my day, there was a thing called fighting words. There was a thing called fighting words. If there's a video of this guy acting that way and you set him right on his ass, there wouldn't have been a judge in the land that would convict you. And that's changed. You know, they want more of a civil society. But you've been picking up your teeth with a broken arm, especially when I played this whole video. It goes on for another 3 or 4 minutes. I don't want to sit there and listen to it. But you can't have an animal like this behaving the way he did in a house of worship and not pay a price. Speaking of creatures, remember this thing? Oh, by the way, I put a link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee if anybody wants to help an old man out. Shoot, I did it a couple minutes ago. I guess I did around the 59-minute mark or 58-minute mark. If you're watching after the broadcast, there's a link for Buy Me a Coffee in the description. And I want to thank Wayne and Roland. And, you know, Mike and Bev went by Buy Me a Coffee earlier today. Isn't that nice? They stopped by again. So, boom to them. And to Colette, I want to give it a boom to Colette. And I do appreciate everybody. Boom, that's for Roland. Boom, that's for Wayne. So everybody that stopped by Buy Me a Coffee, I appreciate it. And I'll try to put the link in later on in the broadcast. But anyway, hi, Dean. How you doing? Who else snuck in here? Lori's here. Let's see. Who? Yeah, it's harassment. But anyway, here she is talking to Don Lemon. I suspect that's who's on the other side of the camera she's talking to. But trying to cover for him in her creepy way.
So that is one of those white evangelical churches that turn out to vote for Donald Trump, 80+% of that sect of Christianity. These are the don't tread on me folks. These are the people who feel like America is for Americans and American only. These are white nationalists. And the DOJ got their panties in a wad because these protesters went straight to them and addressed their hypocrisy. You, a gay Black journalist, are, prime bait for them to drum up these charges. But so that's one issue. You went right into the most entitled white nationalists there are, and they feel that ICE is 100% justified. But
so she's lauding him for being a gay Black man confronting these white nationalists. I heard somebody else saying, well, these Southern Baptists, you got to watch out for Southern. Wait a minute. I don't even know that if that was the Baptist church, number one. Number two, where the hell do you think Minnesota is? It ain't in the South. But they try this broad brush, and they're the racists. You know, I had this in my studio. I didn't get to play it. But, you know, this is Agent being a nice guy. He's letting them know, and I'm sure many of you probably seen the video. It's worth watching it again. One thing I'd have done, after he said what he said, I would have told them, if that predator gets away, I'm going to come back out here and put your ass in my vehicle in handcuffs for aiding and abetting the escape of a child abuser. But he didn't do that. But maybe he will in the future.
We're here to arrest a child sex offender. And you guys are out here honking.
No, we're pressed. We're not
That
honking.
vehicle right there is honking and impeding our investigations while we're trying to arrest a child sex offender. That's who you guys are protecting. Insane. That's what we're doing. My warrant's not for you. My warrant is not for you. I don't have this, bro. It's insane how you can be honking.
Aiding the escape of a fugitive from justice. That's exactly what I'd have told him. And I believe those charges would stick. Here's Nick Sorter. I had this in the studio yesterday, too. He said his hand got stuck in the door. They stole his phone and drug him halfway down the damn... It wasn't down the street even. They're driving on sidewalks, doing robberies, menacing. Watch the fat little fat guy at the end acting all tough. And he's wearing a mask too. They haven't got the guts to show their faces. And they're saying, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? What do you mean, what am I doing here? This is America. What the hell are you doing here? But anyway, here's Nick Sorter.
Hey, get... What did she just do? She fucking...
Oh, shit. Okay, it's okay.
She took Nick's camera. She just stole Nick's camera. Let's get her.
No, give him the camera!
Just tell her to give him the camera back.
Give him the camera!
What happened, Nick?
They just stole my camera.
Right out of your hand while you're in the car?
That's what the fuck you wanted, right? That's the fuck you wanted, right? That's what you did. Man, listen, motherfucker, you better get the fuck up out of here.
My daughter.
You fucking coward. Motherfucker, you a coward, bitch.
You have to leave.
You a fucking coward. You robbed you, motherfucker. Get the fuck up out of here. Bitch. You fucking coward. You a fucking coward, motherfucker. Nobody motherfucker, you trying to incite that shit. Nobody stepped in. Get the fuck up out of here, bro. $1,000.
Jabbing that finger in the face like that, jabbing the finger in the face with that kind of malicious attitude and violent behavior, he'd had every right in the world to put one right between his eyes, right when he was stabbing his finger in his face. But, you know, you want to avoid that whenever possible, especially when they're high profile like Nick Sorter.
Somebody call 911.
Why are you in this neighborhood?
Have Kevin do it.
You fucking Nazis.
We got it all on video. We're not Nazis.
Man, you fucking Nazis.
We're not Nazis and we're not racist. I condemn Hitler completely.
You a fucking racist, bitch.
I'm not racist. I condemn all racism.
You a fucking Nazi.
I condemn all racism.
Why are you here?
We were driving through and we got followed. You guys followed us.
No, we're following you because who are you?
It doesn't matter. We're allowed to be here. It's the United States of America. Why do we have to leave?
What?
We're not leaving till we get the camera. You want us to leave? Give us the camera. Call your friend, get the camera back, and we'll leave.
Who took the camera? Because you guys want to scream racism, but yet you're treating him like this. Why? Why? Racism can go both ways.
You've been talking about 2 hours fucking recording.
Yep, we got a lot of cleaning house to do. A lot of cleaning house. We really do need a CCOT. We don't have the bed space for all these freaks. Yeah, I agree. You shouldn't get violent. A question? Who had a question? Could I please explain why ICE isn't going against our Constitution? Because they're enforcing federal law. what would they be? How would they be violating the Constitution, Ms. Mindersuit? And yeah, well, how are they? What makes you think they're violating the Constitution? I mean, there's a lot to the Constitution. Yeah, no face to face. You're right, Gary. I was just so outraged over that church. After I finished my broadcast last night, I was, oh man, so mad about that. But I know that they did it to provoke people, and they didn't take the bait. They came out looking just like what you see on the screen, a little worm. Yeah, you mean, yeah, it's what everyone's saying. Well, of course they're saying. They're setting a narrative. They're setting a false narrative that ICE is violating the Constitution, and they're not. They're duly appointed, directly appointed officers, and they're enforcing federal law. The Supreme Court has ruled if an officer has instructed you to step out of the vehicle, you have to do it. If an officer asks your identity, you have to give it to them. Now, there are a few limitations. There has to be an articulable reason, suspicion. Articulable suspicion. So my articulable suspicion would be, I believe that you're either harboring someone who's illegal or you're illegal yourself. Now, if they're within 100 miles of the border, they can ask anyone. That's federal law. They have the authority to ask anyone to identify themselves, to verify that they're citizens, just like they have the authority under the law to search your vehicle to make sure you're not bringing in plants, fruit, insects, or anything from a foreign nation across our border. They can go through your underwear, your socks, your shoes. They can do anything like that, and it's not a violation of the Constitution because you can't have strange bugs, fruits, invasive plants, anything like that coming across the border. Even within states, they inspect fruit coming out of Florida and coming into Florida, much less other countries. So yes, we don't want an invasive species known as fraudulent illegal aliens setting up camp in our country. So I hope that explains it. Ha ha ha. In my own imitable way, I would say. So anyway, outrage is a word. Upset's one thing, but outrage. I mean, I was just outraged. But anyway, speaking of outrage, we're going to get back to Don Lemon in a minute. But see how fast time goes? I mean, my gosh, I'm going through stuff as fast as I can without being, I want to say things I want to say. But anyway, well, here you go. Here's an invasive species that got across the border. What happens when an invasive species shows up? Come on, mic cut off.
A man from El Salvador is facing federal charges for the sexual assault of a teenager right here in Albemarle County. Gustavo Quintero was indicted last month in connection to this case. The 25-year-old is facing several charges. Authorities say that he and another man, Brian Chicas, allegedly got the 16-year-old girl intoxicated before assaulting her back in May. Law enforcement was called after a citizen reported seeing the girl being carried by two men who claimed that they were taking her to the hospital. The teenager was later found visibly upset and wearing unfamiliar clothing. Investigators say evidence from Chicas' phone linked both men to that assault. Homeland Security and Albemarle County Police are continuing their investigation.
Yeah, not a nice guy. He got in, though. Watch some of the border videos on YouTube for getting into Canada, how they handle people coming to Canada, and Australia, too. Hi, Dean. Okay, and then he says donkey, whatever that means. If there's a disagreement, we will discuss it. As always, I discuss with people who have a different point of view, as everyone knows. And no fighting in the chats. A great new book by #1 best-selling author Peter Schweitzer, The Invisible Coup: How American elites and foreign powers use immigration as a weapon, is out Tuesday. It is both vitally important and very interesting. Bad things have been happening in the USA, and we must stop it now. We will not let anyone bring down the American empire. Buy this book. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So we have foreign influence manipulating our immigration. Thank you, Dean. I do appreciate your support. And, you know, I know the chats can be a little tricky sometimes. Sometimes people might be a few minutes back in. They'll make a comment about something that happened like 10 minutes earlier, and it doesn't come across clear. So anyway, I do realize that. Here we go. There is $19 billion in Minnesota Somali fraud. That's not all the fraud. That's just the Somali fraud. Fake Congresswoman Ilhan Omar Sharia law, a constant complainer who hates the USA, knows everything there is to know. Oh, do you really, Ilhan? Do you think Donald Trump is saying that lightly? She should be in jail, or even worse punishment, sent back to Somalia. Considered one of the absolutely worst countries in the world, she could help to make Somalia great again. Yeah, go for it, Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar. Sharia law. I already put this up, didn't I? Oh, no. Oh, Newsmax put this up. Trump, Representative Omar should be in jail or sent back to Somalia. And I second that emotion. Oh, speaking of outrage, Tina Peters was attacked in jail, somewhere she should not belong, somewhere she was placed illegally. With all the things that have been going on, I wasn't able to go over the appellate court review of her conviction. But the appellate court said it in a very diplomatic way. They said that the court willingly or knowingly or deliberately misinstructed the jury, and that she was convicted of charges by the jury that she was never charged with, and she was not able to give an affirmative defense. Unlawfully denied the opportunity to present an affirmative defense. Those are very, very serious. So, what happens? She gets assaulted in jail. They already threw her in the hole. Let me play this. I'm going to stop it when it gets to a text because I took the time to get screenshots of the text that was sent out by Tina Peters' X page. But anyway, and for some reason they're playing music towards the end that I may get in trouble with. I don't know. We'll see.
Really scary is what's happening in Colorado. Peter Tickton, the lead lawyer for Tina Peters, joins us. There's all types of reports coming out, tweets coming out. Is Tina Peters been assaulted in prison, and was she charged with a felony for getting assaulted, sir? Can you clear it up for us?
Yeah. Normally I like to greet you with a nice smile, but it's kind of hard to.
She basically. Okay, hold on. I'll read it to you. Whoops! Wait a second. Let me get it on the screen. Here we go. For immediate release, Tina Peters assaulted. Last night, Tina Peters was assaulted at approximately 9 p.m. Mountain Time in La Vista Correctional Facility. Tina was inside a maintenance closet to fill up a water unit when an inmate approached her in the closet and began striking her in anger. They say the person was 20 years old. You'll hear the fellow talk about it. And she's pushing 70, right? Tina raised her hands and pushed the inmate away. Per Tina, the camera showed her pushing the inmate away from her out of the closet. She was subsequently handcuffed, shackled, and brought to solitary. Tina was told she is being charged with felony assault for defending herself against an unprovoked attack. She will be locked down completely for 24 to 72 hours and held in IDO, I think that says, the hole, for an unknown period of time. Last time they had her in there 15 days, and the hole is no fun. They call it the shoe, too. As far as Tina is aware, the inmate who assaulted her has not been charged, slept in their cell last night, and will face no consequences. The incident is clearly a targeted attack against Peters. In all likelihood, it is being used as an opportunity to isolate her and harass Tina Peters. So they got somebody in there they gave a couple of bucks to in the canteen to go attack Tina Peters, to make her life more miserable. Because, as you'll hear, the judge came out and said, well, maybe the sentence is a little too harsh. Well, maybe you found out that if something bad happens to her, real bad happens to her, something real bad's going to happen to you, deserved. Something is going to happen to your status, your position. As far as I'm concerned, your law license, your ability to even practice law, much less sit on the bench. Tina has been warning officials that something like this would happen eventually. She was advised to apply for the incentive pod. Tina has applied repeatedly and been denied despite nothing disqualifying her. Something is not right at LVCF. Tina has minor injuries, but is not seriously injured as of this morning. Can you imagine 70-year-old Tina Peters being charged another felony charge for defending herself? And at the bottom there they had, if people want to help, please support her legal defense. And I guess it's at Tina Peters. I'm sure it's not that hard. It's probably a GoFundMe. Continue to pray for her safety and swift release. They should drop those damn charges. She should be out tomorrow morning. People need to go to jail over the prosecution of Tina Peters. But anyway, and you'll hear this attorney say who's the real crooks.
Basically went into a closet where it's like a water closet where she had to fill a container with some water. And a 20-year-old inmate came in behind her and started to attack her from behind. She pushed this person out of the way and was defending herself. The part where she was defending herself was seen. So they're basically charging her. They put her in the hole for an undetermined amount of time. It's not like they're polite and kind and say you have to be here for 3 days or 1 day or whatever. So we don't know how long she's going to be there. Last time they put her in there, they put her in for 15 days, supposedly for her own safety, and then they returned her to a cell. So there was no, it kind of proved that it was just nonsense and they didn't need to put her in there. But this is really alarming. Okay, because what's going on there now, we've got the governor finally agreeing that the sentence that Tina Peters received was harsh. It was, of course, it was harsh. It was completely unreasonable. And now we have 3 judges of the Court of Appeals looking like they very much agree with that issue, that the sentence is not even a legal sentence. And so they, they're on the verge of reversing some of these charges and reversing, or some of the convictions and some of the charges and the sentencing. At the same time, we've got Judge Polis finally saying that it's too harsh. And then we've got the real criminals. We've got Weiser and Griswold, Jana Griswold, who, and I say she's a criminal. They admit that they did what they did. They admit that she was responsible for going into 62 counties. And
he's looking to see if that music is coming from him. I don't know who's playing it. I guess they're trying to hurry him up for a break. But he just said this Anna Griswold went into 62 counties, and he's going to say it's a year jail time for each offense, 62 times.
2 counties, and basically deleting the information, which is contrary to federal law. She could get a year for each one of those. So Jenna Griswold is truly a criminal, and what she's doing is she's putting all of the emphasis on Tina Peters for basically saving the evidence. And, now, so we've got a little bit of a divergence between Jenna Griswold and Weiser, who are basically saying, keep her in prison. The real criminals saying, keep the non-criminal in prison, while Governor Polis is saying, hey, I'm the governor.
Polis.
You want to make these decisions, you run for governor.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Peter.
But meanwhile,
Yeah,
so
Peter,
what's
just
going
hang on
on?
a second.
Then all of a sudden somebody attacks her in
Peter.
prison. Now, I don't have any evidence.
Hang on. We're going to get to
Jana Griswold. Jana Griswold, correction, was deleting evidence of a federal election in violation of federal law, and they put Tina Peters in jail for trying to preserve it. That's going to blow loose. Matt Walsh, I want Don Lemon dragged out of his house by a SWAT team at gunpoint. That's what Biden did to pro-lifers. Time to make these scumbags play by the same rules. Force feed them a dose of their own medicine for once. Today, which was yesterday, of course, Don Lemon and a group of leftist agitators stormed a church service to protest ICE. This is a direct and flagrant violation of the FACE Act, which the Biden administration used to throw pro-lifers in federal prison for years. Don Lemon and his co-conspirators should be facing federal prison. The Trump administration must announce those charges immediately. Well, there's no doubt that they trespassed. And, parishioners have a responsibility too. They have to make a complaint. Anyway, here's the video. And this is a good video because it shows them even taking it outside. The guy is being as polite as can be. And you'll see this woman. She'll parade. I call it the parade of criminals walking by. She's leading them out. Her rear end needs to be arrested too. And watch for that quick second where she tries to make what she would say inadvertent contact. But to me, it's small. It's a small thing. But it's unwanted touching. It's an attempt to escalate a situation and get one more shot in while she's going out the door.
These people have come into our house and they've interrupted our worship. This is a house of peace, and we try to proclaim that. And this stirs division and rancor. And in the end, it's not helpful. Ultimately, I believe they've lost. They've emptied a house of worship. Everybody's gone home. Their point has been proven worthless. And so, in the end, I think they lose. But more importantly, if I was to break into any of their houses uninvited, cause derision and upset according to their values, I would be kicked out ultimately. It's not a good way. I feel violated. I feel interrupted. I feel angry.
May I ask you something? When you were saying if you had showed up at their house, they're saying that people are showing up at houses where there are citizens without due process and breaking and entering the house. One we saw, I've been watching from New York, with a battering ram into someone's private property, and there's no recourse. There's no, you understand what?
So he's saying because ICE agents were conducting an operation to apprehend an illegal alien or a person with a warrant for violent crime or crimes against children, that they have the right to barge into a church where people are busy trying to worship the Lord. Oh, that's a real good comparison, Lemon, you creep.
In my opinion, on one side are people who watched a previous administration bring 12 million people in over the course of 4 years, and many of them undocumented, many of them criminals, etc. This is another administration's corrective. Now, whether you agree with the policies or procedures, I think I could actually be sympathetic to some of the things where there have been challenges to fashion and decency. At the same time, these are what are called targeted interventions by ICE to keep the American people safe.
If I respectfully may interject here, I've been out reporting on a lot of these, and they're not targeted. There are no warrants signed by a judge, let me finish. And they're American citizens, many of them. Most of the people that they detain don't have criminal convictions or criminal records.
I'm not going to get into the weeds.
But you should know that, though. Don't you think that's part of it?
Yes, and I could also show you many opposing sides where we're also picking up the very criminals that have put Americans in danger. And I'm not saying it's pretty. I'm not saying it's not messy. I'm not saying it couldn't be better. I'm saying this is a part of a much larger dialogue in which one administration caused a great deal of chaos and havoc and danger for American citizens, and another is trying to correct that.
Do you believe that? Why honestly,
okay.
let me talk to you just on the facts. Yes, I am. I want to give you the facts.
No.
Did you know that undocumented people and immigrants commit far less crime than American citizens?
We're done here. We're done here.
Then natural-born Americans. You won't listen.
If you could ask,
I'm giving you the facts. It is.
Give me facts. I would have a conversation.
But I can.
Here's going with his narrative. Natural-born citizens are getting deported and getting put in gulags and all that crap. You know, I'm going to keep saying it. These people that took an oath of citizenship and were granted citizenship by subversive bureaucrats in our government that have not came here to be independent and not wards of the state. They took an oath to our Constitution and are violating the oath. They should have their citizenship stripped. All of them, tens of thousands of them. And just as quickly as those million Chinese that were taken back home right after they were born to be raised in a Chinese communist culture and then presumably to be brought back, they should be stripped too. We're talking millions of people need to be banished from this country.
Because he doesn't want to listen to facts. That's the interesting thing about this is that they won't listen to facts.
No.
You won't because
when you
because
pose as a journalist,
I am a journalist. Journalist gives
and then
facts.
you start correcting me with facts and don't have.
You shouldn't hear the facts.
Of course, I
most
should hear
of the people
facts.
who are picked up
but
are
will you
not.
give me the facts on both sides?
That is the facts on both sides. Most of the people who are picked up and are detained are not convicted. They have no criminal convictions. They have no criminal records. None. That immigrants commit far less crime than native-born Americans. So they won't listen to the facts anyway.
A false narrative, a false manipulated narrative. He's full of it. Here's some, we'll go over these real quick. Let's see. Building a New York stock exchange in Dallas is unbelievably bad thing for New York. I can't believe they would let this happen. A big test for the new mayor. NATO has been telling Denmark for 20 years, you have to get the Russian threat away from Greenland. Unfortunately, Denmark has been able to do anything about it. Now it's time. It will be done, President Donald J. Trump. You know, did you all, speaking of Mamdani, so they want to set up another stock exchange. Boy, what a firestorm came out from this. I meant to put this in my title somewhere. White meat. What are you talking about, woman? This is one of his stellar appointments. Mamdani, chief equity officer, disparaged liberal white women in now deleted X posts. Mayor Mamdani's new chief equity officer disparaged liberal white women in numerous posts on an X account deleted shortly before her appointment. And she also said they were going to tax the eyeballs out of white people. And of course, Mamdani said that too. They're going to cut it right down to the white meat, is what they said. What the hell kind of talk is that? Donald Trump reposted this. A small group of elderly ladies were protesting at an abortion clinic and were given 40 years in prison for violating the FACE Act. I would like to see the same kind of sentence for Don Lemon and the people that broke into that church and did that during services. Yes, we would like to see that ourselves. Border Patrol Union put this up. Donald Trump reposted it. The criminal aliens, a.k.a. murderers, robbers, rapists, pedophiles, that the leftist mobs and paid agitators are protecting. By interfering with and impeding ICE and Border Patrol do not care one bit about these morons. They care less about America than the protesters do. Invading churches during services and attacking law enforcement is where the peaceful protesters are at now. This is what they want for America. Not on our watch. We will continue to enforce the law and get rid of those who have no legal right to be or remain in our country. Thank you, POTUS Trump, for your continued and unwavering, unconditional support. Yeah. We got to hit them even harder, drag them out even faster. That's what I say. Oh, this is that guy's name. This is that bearded freak, William Kelly, Marxist church invader, has no regrets about storming church and dares Pam Bondi to do something about it. His name is William Kelly. I knew I had that in here somewhere. Here's Don. This is just Don Lemon approaching the church. Look at him. He looks like Darth. He's in a Darth Sidious outfit. Look, he sees children. He sees children. He knows what's going to happen is going to disrupt the lives of children when they're going to church. But what did he say about protesting?
Watch this guy here. Look, he's hugging his kid. And, you know, I just imagine it's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here. But again, careful. It's very slippery right here. Yeah. It's uncomfortable and traumatic for the people here, but that's what really, careful, please. Really slippery. Not kidding. That's what protesting is about. And so.
Yeah. Okay, that just got you another 5 years in my book, buddy. Oh, we know it's going to be uncomfortable and traumatic for the children. But that's what protesting is about? Bullshit. Because it says in the Constitution you have the right to peaceable assembly. Not the kind of crap you're trying to pull. That you've been pulling and getting away with it. Man, there's so much stuff. Gosh, and time is flying by. Rigged elections, Donald Trump said, are common in the U.S., with the presidential election of 2020 being the granddaddy of them all. We demand voter ID. In Somali fraud scandal, Republicans probe evidence of blue state election scheme. Well, we got to start having trials. We got to start having charges and trials. Jack Posobiec, what do you got going on, Jack? They're storming churches, infiltrating institutions, lying in media, seizing wealth, and attacking reporters in the streets, and agitating the dregs of society as weapons against the middle class. Has anything like this ever happened before? Yeah, 1918 in Russia, called the Bolshevik Revolution. And I could quote other things, but they overuse that, don't you know? Oh, I got so many videos and stuff to play that here is something I'm going to start pointing out and playing videos of. Because we're going to be hearing in some form charges are going to be brought against people in the media for illegal psychological warfare campaigns that affect the psyche of our nation, that promote mass slander and libel and incite public hostility. Here is a man, you may recall, his own son turned him into the FBI. Listen to how he handled it. And in hindsight, because I said, man, if that was my son, no, he handled it, I think, like a good father. But it is more evidence of the damaging effects of a false narrative knowingly promoted, knowingly.
I know this has been very rough on you. Your story was very difficult. You were turned in by one of your sons. That had to hurt.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, I forgave him instantly. That's my kid. I love him.
Yeah.
There were other people who were influencing him to make a phone call. So at the end of the day, I actually questioned him at my trial because he was a witness. And I told him right there, I said, hey, the last things I said to him at trial, because you have to question him, I said, I love you. You're not responsible for this, right? Yeah, he knows that. I said, I love you, and there's nothing that can change that. And that was the end of the question. Through all this, I just hope he doesn't feel responsible for what happened, because he isn't. The one thing that is interesting that he did say, after he got a chance to view the actual evidence of January 6th, he realized everything he had told about January 6th was a lie. And he said if he had seen the evidence that I showed him after the fact, that he never would have turned me into the FBI, because he knew at that point that everything that they had said was a lie.
That's why the government-sponsored censorship is also a violation of our freedom of speech, because enable for you to give an intelligent response, form an intelligent opinion, you need to know all the facts. So it impacts your free speech in a very negative manner. Censorship. So, Don Lemon was sitting there talking about people of color. You heard his crony friend was saying, oh, you as a black gay man stood up to those white separatists or whatever she called them. And the narrative, one of many narratives, is that they're getting rid of people of color. ICE is attacking people of color. Well, this young man has a great response to it. And someone in my comments said, how can I get a link to this or that video that you had in your, I can't, I can't go back 3 or 4 videos, after 20 hours of work and then say, oh, let me put this link into a video. No, what you do is you can clip them in the bar where you have your thumbs up. Underneath my video, you slide that thumbs up bar over and it'll show you a little pair of scissors where you can make your own clips of my video and share them on Facebook or with your friends anytime you want. Any clip you want, please feel free to share them. So that's the answer to that. Thank you all for commenting on my videos after they're played. Also, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. So this is a great video for you to clip at the end. And I want to, as always, thank you all for spending your precious time with me. And I am putting in, at the end of the broadcast in the chats, which you can watch on replay. You can read the chats. That's why I caution everybody. Watch what you put in there, but think about it a little bit because the internet's forever, right? So anyway, folks, I always say thank you for spending your precious time with me. I have just put the link in for Buy Me a Coffee. If anybody wants to help out, keep the channel going. So anyway, folks, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Enjoy this young man's video, and I hope we see a lot more videos like this. So y'all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
I'm letting y'all know now, I do support ICE. I stand for everything they doing. If it's anybody that's getting caught up in the crossfire, I'm sorry that it had to happen to you, but a democracy worked and people voted for these agents to get these illegal immigrants out the United States of America to make America safe again, make America great again, what other acronym you have for it. And then y'all keep telling these lies. Oh, well, Donald Trump is using ICE as his personal police force to get black and brown people out the United States. So he ain't getting no white folks out the United States. Matter of fact, we'll debunk that right now. Here go a white boy right here, boy about white as snow. Where he from? The UK, where he got convicted of drug trafficking in Arkansas. Sent his ass back to the UK. Here go another white boy right here. Where he from? The United Kingdom, white as snow. What is he convicted of? Look at all these terrible things he's been convicted of. And y'all mad because they get his ass up out the United States? But y'all keep telling me they only going after brown and black communities. Hold on, I got more. Another dude straight from the UK, he's smiling, he white. They got his ass the fuck up out the United States. Let's move on to the next. Another white boy straight out of Jersey. What he convicted of? Drug trafficking. What they did? Send him back to the UK. Next. Another white boy straight from the UK. I'm just telling y'all, so why y'all out here talking about they only going after black and brown people? They gonna get you next. Here goes some white folks. I'm showing y'all, look at what he getting charged with. What they doing? Sending him back to the UK. Hold on, I got more. Another white boy from the UK, where they found him in Brooklyn, convicted of money laundering. What's his name? Jonathan Carson. Shipped his ass back to the UK. Got another white boy straight from France. Look at what he convicted of. Man, they getting him up out of here. Look, we got another one, straight out of France. What he convicted of? Identity theft, fraud, and abuse. Shipped his ass back to France. Next. Last but not least, we got a white man straight from Canada. Look at all this disgusting shit he getting charged for. Look at this shit. Y'all can read. Found his ass in Alabama. What they did, took his punk ass back to Canada. Shout out to Trump and ICE. I stand with ICE because they making America safe again and making